when we are building Gen AI tools, what are the qualities and capabilities that are most important to keep atop of mind as we've moved forward?
And again, reflecting on my last answer, I think we should focus heavily on the qualities. The capabilities are changing and evolving, and the capabilities are going to solve problems, and we'll get back to that. But really, we've got to figure out what are the qualities of an AI tool that we value. It's transparency, predictability, is it trustworthiness, safety. So we've got to figure out what is it we're going to let these machines into our process, and they're going to come in and do really important tasks. Now, they're never going to be decision makers. We will retain the decision making, but they're going to provide us information to allow us to make better decisions. They're going to take two steps out of our process. We got to go, how do we ask a question of a model that is beyond our comprehension? Say something like a large language model with 5 billion parameters being trained with 40 terabytes of data, all stacked up together, and it's finding a little route in through that and coming out and telling us, hey, I think this person might have might have diabetes. Wow, how did it get that? So we got to figure out ways of interrogation, inspecting these tools, ways of assessing how do we ensure that we're using the right ones, not just from a cost management perspective, but from a doing the right thing perspective. And then checking with ourselves as we use new technology, it is super shiny. This LLM stuff, Gen AI, is so powerful and it feels so close and it's so capable that the temptation is to wrap around and bring it all in, give it our task because it'll do them so much quicker and cheaper and more efficiently. But we've got to make sure we're going, is that the right thing to do? Are we retaining our value within the process? And is the tool that we're using to do this sufficiently validated to get us to a point where we can hand it off the tasks that we don't deem require a human on the run? And then we go to capabilities, which is the other half of your question. When we look at the capability of these tools, I think that's how a lot of conversations are going at the moment. It's like, what are the capabilities of the tool and how do we match them to problems? And it is important to understand the capabilities, and you do have to know what you're dealing with because any work person needs to understand what tools they have in their toolbox. You do have to do that, but you don't look at the tools and go, what do I need to build? What do I need to solve? And then go back to the tools. So with any project, and this might seem like the most basic thing you could possibly say, but it's funny when you look at the amount of POCs there are versus the amount of successful projects. You have to start with a problem worth solving. The problem has to be big enough that it's worth putting your energy into. It has to have enough relevance. It has to be the right problem for the tools you have. In AI, traditionally, certainly as machine learning became more and more prevalent, some of the data scientists I work with would say, your first question is this an AI problem? And then you ask, is it a machine learning problem? Because just because it's statistical, it doesn't mean it's artificial intelligence. And if it's not artificial intelligence, don't use artificial intelligence because it's got problems that statistical models don't bring. Similarly with Gen AI, you gotta look at the problem space, go, I like that problem, and Gen AI feels like the right solution. But test it and test it from problem down, not from tool up, because the temptation is so right there in front of your face to say, can I just grab this problem, bash Gen AI at it, and solve the problem? Maybe, but make sure you understand why you're solving it in the first place.